I'm Selvi. I'm a blogger and writer. I write about many topics, but I try to put forward the topics of human rights in which I graduated. I talk mostly about 4 topics in human rights. It's censorship in China. Mainly doesn't know the extent of censorship in China. There is all topics such as Tiananmen Square, or when people get to criticize the president Xi and so forth. There is so many topics that Chinese people cannot even consult on the internet. It's just banned, it's just censored. And also the extreme way with which China censor physically intellectuals or just people who wants to say what they think, and they are sent to prisons. They now with what is called the social credit system. It's officially that transportation for them is much more difficult to access. School for their children will be more difficult to access. Welfare even, because if they criticize, they say something that the Communist Party thinks it's wrong about them, they will sanction them officially, and then you lose your wealth. They might lose welfare, and so yeah. So that is China. I also try to put forward veganism because we are in this situation where people they don't know animals because they are in rural areas. They are in urban areas, and they don't meet animals any longer because everything is concrete. They can't even spend their weekends, like, in the fresh air, in the woods and so forth. And in Iha, speaking of woods, we that with all this pollution and climate warming, we are losing so many species, and among those, many of our big mammals. So basically, the woods are empty, more and more empty. You enter a wood and you think that there will be birds everywhere, and I don't know, so butterfly, insects, deer, and in fact there is nothing left in them. And you've got mobility, social mobility, yeah. But who is getting the job, basically, and that is the whole question, yes. And it might be different people, but it's not always about people. It's what principle, what are the final objectives, for whom and by whom, of course, but it's not only a question of people, because even if you change the people, if on top and on different top, because of course there is many, we are multi-layer society. If it's always the same as in human rights abuses and disrespecting environment over people, over human rights and so forth, it's kind of the same. I mean, maybe you need more. Still, mobility is good because there's a shift, but it's why sometimes more conservative societies are still respected, is because if it's the same family, maybe the way it might balance is that at one point you're gonna have someone that's gonna be, okay, I'm from this family, but I want something better for for the society in which I live. But if you compare to mobility, if you've got mobility, but the objective is screwing the one you can screw, it's a horror system anyhow, yeah. So this is a difficult subject, I'd say, because one of the reasons why it's difficult, for example, is how you can illustrate it is that in the UN, right, Palestine as a commission for itself, yeah, is the only topic when you are studying the Palestine situation through the UN, is the one information that they give you is that is the biggest topic of any of the UN. This is it. This is Palestine, okay? Which is absolutely small. I mean, we know how many human rights abuses as all over the world, yeah. And though is Palestine, who is the big subject. So with so many commissions, with so many leaders from all over the world that came and tried to solve this problem, try to see. So this is the first thing I'd say, and what is coming just after is why. Why is it like this? That the UN question and hours of debates is thousands of hours dedicated to Palestine, while other topics get 0 hours. Yeah, is I think we are to talk about religiously, not because me I endorse no religion, but we have to be practical enough and recognizing that religion still rule the world. Not only religion, of course, but we know how much pressure, social pressure, financial pressure, cultural pressure, how much religion might shape the world and might shape individual, and my crush on liberties, and also much more, in fact, because it shapes, it makes spiritual. And me, I'm not against religion and spirituality at all, because my take on it is that people are religious by nature or spiritual by nature. So yeah, so you are right. So I wanted to say whether Jerusalem is Jewish. Yeah, is in history of religion. Yeah, it is Jew. Yeah. Yes. And I think we need to respect that as non-religious people, that we don't endorse, even if we don't endorse a religion, because the religious people will see a story through that. Yes. Because you are supposed to if you are of an ecumenical so much has been repeated that religion, they respect each other and so forth. So if they want, because when you talk about Islam, is gonna be seriously is gonna be a religious matter. The jihadists are and this is if you talk about Islam, this is what it is about. The jihadists, they don't say is political Islam, they say is religious Islam, yeah? And political Islam, and yeah, if you ask me, it doesn't exist, yeah? It doesn't exist. Islam is a religion, it's not a political. Of course, you can use it as in political strategies, like any religion would, yeah? and like the problem like every religion have done, yeah, because it's just a monumental force, yeah, and that have been abused completely for millennium, basically. Human rights have been abused in Europe for 2 millennium by Christian, right? Yeah. So first, yeah. And you said about so the English trade this and me the only part of what I'd say about this is one, you talk about the Ottoman Empire, yeah?
Yes.
And I think it's interesting to talk about the Ottoman Empire because one of the things that, about the Ottoman Empire is that at the date you were saying, so beginning of the 20th century, yeah, they were very, very close friends with Germany.
Yeah.
Best friend of Ottoman Empire was Germany. And what happened to the Jew in Germany, like 20 years, let me see, 20 years after what you just described,
yes.
They have been victim of the Holocaust, with
yes.
Germany who went completely, anti-Semite. Enfin, completely, beyond belief anti-Semite, right? For many years, for many centuries, or sometimes it was good because, you know, there is all this thing with Christianity that I think is something with money, because is it the Christian that cannot lend money, but with a Jewish religion it is possible, something like this, yeah. But sometimes they were welcome in Spain, or welcome in England, or welcome in Italy, and it lasted 1 or 2 centuries, and after that not in France, and after that not welcome at all, and basta, yeah. But this sounds almost mundane, because of course we all are afraid of what the other group is gonna do to us, yeah. And what our own group is gonna do to us, but also what other group. So there's always conflicts going on. But this stop being.
Fear. Before the conflict, there is always fear that arises. I think before any conflict, there is fear. There is propaganda. There is all of this happening before the conflict. For the conflict to take place,
You know, there is also the slaughter of the innocent. Huh?
yes.
But it's people who don't know what is going on. I mean, of course, there is fear because my life is tough and so forth. So you kind of rapidly lower your limitations, yeah. But there is also conflict that certainly has happened. That you are slaughtered while you don't know what was gonna happen as well, yeah. Of course, there's fomenting of violence and for sure. I mean, certainly when you talk about genocide anyhow, because it's what happened through Holocaust. And it's true that if you study genocide, this is exactly what you are saying, is like you instill fear, and you instill propaganda, and you also use conspiracy theory, and saying, yes, these people, they are the rulers. You think they rule a little through political and through commerce and so forth, but in fact, no, it's much more than that, and they want, yeah, I mean, lies spreading, and certainly, you know, this energy that that should have been reinvested in creating a better society. And what is easier is not creating a better society within your group and within groups. No, but what is much more appealing to I would say, society that commonly as aim is growth, and take from the land and so forth, without no thank you or whatsoever, and it's the only logic is this. The only what you do to the land, you do to your group and to other groups and so forth. So is the one who is the mentality of who is gonna be disappearing first. But you can, but it's international, like, I mean, like socialism, like capitalism, like all of this, yeah.
Yes.
It's to do with invasion and so forth, because the moment you are telling to someone, look at that book, you're gonna do whatever it is that I say that it is in this book, and I interpret it, and this is gonna be what you're gonna follow spiritually, daily, and so forth. You install daily torture for you, yeah. And on top of it, you are paid for it. You become teacher. You become. You're gonna start priesthood, and I mean the whole lot. Yeah, the whole society is you're gonna be able to play like this, just like this. The whole world is puppeteer to you. Yeah. And for example, in the UK, for example, there is these countries that say and the US, very evangelic, the US, and in Poland, I don't know, you know, there's so many countries, but they say to you the first. One of the first right you need to is, well, okay, it's in the UK is very clear, it's individual rights and so forth, and freedom of expression and so but religion, and religion is this group right, so cultural right and then group right. But the moment you can start doing something like group right that exclude people, because if you say, yeah, well, look, this is my group right, and this is right for only people who think that this book is, that everything is the cosmos you can think about and you know, pray upon and so pray for and so forth, you are alienating. Even in what we famously know as well is that you are alienating, and you are even, you know, there's this fascist thing, yeah, as that fascist is never be against outside the people, as not.
Yeah.
For it to work, it's outside and inside, yes.
Yes.
And in India, it's a madness. So as such as madness is autodestructive. Yes, the fantasy is to nourish oneself with death. So one of the amusing things, it's not very relevant, but it's actually amusing, seeing that the Aryan race has been projected by Hitler, but is nothing, you know, but is no blonde, is no tall, and is this guy they chose to promote that kind of ideal. And so basically, logically, would be promoting until his lover to not comply with you know, it's this kind of it's famous saying in human rights circle is, you know, they came from for the communists, they came for the LGBT, they came for the black, they came for the Indian, you know, they came to take them and to get rid of them, you know. And they come for many other dogs one by one, and one day they come for yourself, huh? That's for sure, huh? So it's not yes, I mean it's the politic of fear, and for sure the problem is that it's working. It is working. If you are in the situation when group rights are really stronger than individual rights, which individual rights means nothing, because individual rights is not individual rights. It's not really what is gonna give you a job. A lot of people will start throwing yourself and say, well, we don't give you a job, you need to get your job, you know, you need to deserve it. Yes, of course, but if there's no job, if the society that is built is to make sure there is an employment and so forth, you know, individual rights is not gonna give you food, basically. And so there is this group rights or cultural rights, but are here to say to you, you know, you can do whatever you want, but the moment there's no food in your plate and that you've got to belong to a group, then people we start we have to, let's say, to start and to endorse any kind of politics, any kind of ideologies, because simply there's one part, there's a part of the brain who says, bon, you need food, so you say yes, and saying yes, it's Palestine is, I think, is being called one of you know, it's like a biggest open air prison on earth or something like this, right? So sometimes so Palestinian people is it's not nothing you can be against, you know, as poor, it's like poor people, not all of them, yeah, because like in any situation, there's people who are profiting from poverty, from misery, from fate or whatever it is, yes. But I mean, as a collective, let's say, yeah, it's just horrid what is happening to the Palestinian, yeah, because they are in an enclave, right? We all could have been born in this situation, and it's just absolutely horrid. To be a society, you know, in open air, threatened by boycotts and so forth. So you don't know, you don't even have this this possibility of walking away trying to find your food. You are here, you know, you can just only eat dust, basically, yes, plus trapped in somewhere where there's bombs and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So this is no question of saying anything against the Palestinian people, right? But me, I would have a special text on what is happening in Palestine, is that what I've seen, yeah, it's what I've seen. So, you know, even if we try to be international people, when you look a little bit on what life is that you understand you've been in a very few places and that you met very few people. So, you know, I'm very European and so forth. So it's very limited, yeah. But what I've seen is that really, when people talk about Palestine in universities, for example, it's very much a pro-Palestinian, in the sense, not of course to say, okay, no, people can't live like that, which is true. No, it's not that. It's in the sense that it goes against Israel, and I don't think it's fair. Because of the situation Israel is, the situation Israel is
It's still happening. It's after many decades.
yeah. Yeah, but the reason as well is okay, it's really a bit simplistic to say that, because, for example, Middle East have, voilà, certainly after Syria, certainly, after Iraq, and but a lot of in Afghanistan, that's not, but it's a bit far, but a refugee problem, yeah, a refugee problem. But the Palestinians they go to Lebanon and so forth, and but we've got a problem of surpopulation as well and so forth, right? But what should be easing, yeah, the solution to that is to ease and that they go elsewhere, that they stop being this enclave and so forth, yeah. But what I think it's the responsibility and the culpability is put on the Israelis. And why is Israel? Israel is a tiny little country, yeah,
Yes.
where people suffering from Holocaust 70 years ago, yes, went because if you think about general anti-Semitic approach, is the only place where they can call yes, to be said, Europe is it's Christianity, but it's Judaism as well. Okay, the culture is like the Bible is the Old Testament, right?
Yes.
So they are part of this fabric, and this very population they killed the Jew, right? And now where Israel is a small country, yes, very small country, surrounded by Islamic countries, okay? With, I'm not saying all Muslim, of course, I'm not stupid, but with many school of thought in Islam school that are completely anti-Semite, right? And they are a lot of it at the center. And best of all, so they are possibly victim of bombings, right?
Yes.
Small country, possibly victim of country, and for Gaza. I mean, we don't have to think Egypt. We don't have to think Lebanon. We don't have to think all of that. Just from Gaza, and they dig tunnels. They dig underground tunnels so that's the Hamas. They dig underground tunnels that have the ability, they go into Israeli territory for Israeli territory. Territory.
From underground.
Yeah, underground. So what does it mean? It's a small country that needs a space, basically, a buffer zone. Because, of course, we all know how dangerous it is with armament level that like rockets that could come from anywhere, that could come from hundreds of miles almost, yeah, and that could wipe out a country just like that. But he's not even talking about this kind of possible international conflict within the Middle East or elsewhere, but only the Middle East. No? They are all threatened directly by Gaza. So you know, it's hard to be against Israel. So I know that there's this problem with it is horrid to see, for example, Palestinian houses just wiped out. I saw that, and it's just completely horrid. And when you see that, everyone is like, you know, it's like it's outrage, because you know you can be your home, for goodness sake, and just wipe out like this. But the situation, the military situation, is something else. It's something else, because it's simple as that. It's an instrument. It's a tool. You can play it the way you want. I mean, a well of water in the desert, it might be a miracle and a godsend, or it might be something absolutely terrible. It's only the way you organize it, and that will prove that it will serve good or evil.
Yeah.
Everything is like that. So, like state, like we've got a big problem with our states, because there is only the states that can prevent you from anyone to to use you as I don't know, as human trafficking, as to exploit everything, to steal from you, to kill your mom, to without having nothing else, is only the state, or is only a supranational state, but the state is used after that to do all these abuses. It's never ending. So